Hello and welcome to the Comedian's Paradise. This is the podcast where we speak to the most tantalizing, scintillating, and let's say mysterious individuals across the comedy world. Now, this man is an absolute amazing man. He's from Miami, the same place as Jorge Masvidal. He is a man who moved over to Sweden for the tasty meatballs and the fantastic furniture. Please welcome the fantastic Jonathan Rollins.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
And it was the meatballs, wasn't it, that got you to Sweden from Miami? Like you were friends with Jorge Masvidal, and then you left Sweden.
Yes. Yep. I was like, man, I'm sorry, man. I got to get the meatballs and furniture. I was out of there. But
So you,
I was honestly, I was in the military and, I was in Turkey and I met my wife, you know, all that whole thing.
okay. So all right. So you were, I'm gonna say, was it in the Navy or
I
the
was in the Air Force.
Air Force? So
Yeah.
what was that like? Because I had a comedian called Mr. C. So he's a very famous, well, not famous, but he's a big name on the mainstream and urban, not urban, like black comedy circuit. And he did a gig in
Hmm.
America in one of the military bases. And he was teasing one of the female audience members with an army guy. And he kept going, hey man, hey man, hey man. And then he censored the third time that he was pushing it a bit and the guy may attack him. And the guy spoke to him after he was performing, saying, listen, man, when he's going up, like in the Air Force and going up to defend his base, he doesn't know what she's doing. So you doing that is driving him absolutely mad. And like he also said, you're lucky it wasn't the Marines because those fuckers are crazy. Is
I feel like they have a sense of humor though, man. Especially the guys like they fuck with each other all the time. You know what I mean?
okay.
So I don't know. I really want to do some of those though, as somebody who understands those guys, and I really want to get some do some of those USO type of shows. So that's what I hope is in my future, to go and joke about like actual, write good jokes about my life in the military for those guys. Would be fun.
What's it like in the military? Because like, I mean, I know that in people get a wrong perception when they watch like fighters in MMA gyms or boxing gyms. They think that not all of them are good people in boxing or MMA gyms, but the majority of people that I've met in those sort of places have been probably some of the soundest and best people I've met. Not on like comedy or entertainment.
Hmm.
But in the fighting gyms, the nicest people I've met have been in boxing or MMA gyms. Is some of that in
Hmm.
sort of the military? Because you watch the movies, you got some mad man saying, "Listen here, you got to do this. Are you a little girl?" Or they come across as quite brutal in the films. Is it like that in the military? Are they all
Yeah,
assholes?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in. I can only speak for my time in back in early 2000s, but I would say that, you won't find like the brotherhood and the camaraderie that we had, where you look out for these people that were strangers not too long ago, and it's just like
Okay.
a shared camaraderie that I'm glad I got to be a part of. But like, of course, there was that whole toxic. It was probably more toxic back then than it is now. But that whole tough guy shit was real.
Is there a lot of bullying that goes on as well, or is there? That's what I hear in a lot of these things that there's a lot of bullying that goes on in these things. Is
Yeah, I
that
mean they call it hazing. They call it
hazing?
hazing. We did a little bit of it. I was a Yeah, man. They say it's called hazing. It was in a air traffic controller is what I was, and it's a really tough field. And it's like they try to like prepare you mentally for the stress of the job. So it's just a lot of picking on you and like seeing if you can handle the stress. A lot of simulated stress was the main thing through all training. Um, so yeah, we had that, but it wasn't like beat somebody up. It was like the closest to hazing that we got is like when you get your badge, they take the protectors off and then they smack you in the chest and as a like welcome to the club, and everybody goes around the whole. Once you get your certification, everybody walks around and hits your chest. You get a little blood, you're all right.
Mm. Now, What What were the biggest things that you got from working in the military that prepared you for the stand-up comedy world?
Oh man, good question, man. I'd say with the job I had, air traffic control, I think you have to think fast and make decisions. You know what I mean? So one thing about that was I was scared I wouldn't get that rush anymore once I stopped doing the job. And then I found that after my first gig ever, I had the same rush as getting all the F-15s to land. You know what I mean? Like after it's called a recovery when they all come back at the same time, and you have to talk to all of these planes. It's going insane, and then you're done, and you're like, "Whew, man, that felt good." And I get that same feeling on stage, and I feel like having to think fast. Two things I did in my life that I think prepared me for stand up is the air traffic control, thinking fast, and then freestyle rap. I used to
Oh,
freestyle battles, and I was like, it's the same muscles. You know what I mean? When you're trying to do crowd work and talk to somebody and come up with something to stay ahead of the audience, it's the same type of stuff. So those are two things that
now I've got a question that will probably annoy you, but how does it work in the rap game when you go up and you're building like is it similar to stand-up in that you build a set and then yeah, how does it work when you try and build a name for yourself in rap and then in comedy?
oh man, I was only doing like battles and stuff. And it changed a lot since because I started watching them on like YouTube and stuff too. So I can't I didn't build a name for myself. I just was like on the base, I would just freestyle battle and win the little battles that we had. Nobody was I was better than those guys, but they're all just like military dudes messing around. So building a name for yourself in a at a base in Turkey or a base in Alaska is not the same as like I can't say it like I'm some type of pro. But I was nice with it though.
Ah,
I could freestyle with the best of them.
is so the only thing that I've seen in regards to freestyle rap, I watched Sacha Baron Cohen's stupid "Who Is America," where he dresses up a character and tries to do rap, and then I remember watching Eminem do the rap, and he won the last battle against the last guy because the guy had sex with his girlfriend, and he used all the typical insults
That's
at the
Eight
guy.
Mile.
Yeah. What do you think of that in terms of the way he used all the insults and he knew what the guy was going to say and try and destroy him? And the guy was completely surprised that he was like, listen, homie, this is me. These are all my
Yeah.
weaknesses. I accept them, motherfucker. And that completely sort of bamboozled him. Does that happen in rap battles where someone will attack themselves and then attack the other guy?
No, I don't know. I don't. It was good for the movie. Excuse me. It was good for the movie, but no, you just when I did it, they still had music with it.
Oh, okay.
They've taken away the music part of it now, and
Ah,
now it's like they all know each other. It's almost like these roast battles where like personal shit. Everybody kind of knows the community, so then it'll be like I know all the little stuff about you, and I'll say something that everybody knows. It's almost like soap opera now. And no beat. To me, it was good to stay on beat, think fast enough, and make the rhymes happen. That was more impressive. But now they write a whole 20-minute song about each other.
oh,
If you
shit.
watch any of those long ass battles that they have nowadays, it's impressive, but they have a whole prepared thing, man. I can't watch it. It's too long.
No, yeah, 20 minutes is too long, man. 5 minutes, but not that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So so the rap game, oh, not the rap game, but the freestyle battles toughened your skin to the bullshit that you get in comedy film audiences, comedians, and
Yeah.
adrenaline rush. How did the
Yeah.
military prepare you for comedy? Just
I think it prepared me for who I am in comedy now, where like, oh, even I worked in the corporate world before this. I credit the military with that foundation of like having a goal, being goal oriented, and then trying to accomplish it, and like the no bullshit part. Like I want to do this and had the discipline. We even call it military discipline is what I have, and I think
uh,
that's why I was able to succeed on that end of like, all right, I want to do this. I'm gonna make this happen, and then fucking laser focus and make it happen. That's what I credit my military background with that.
that's funny you say that because there's one of the best comedy promoters in the UK and definitely get in contact with that, Jim Halworth. he used to work in the military, and he says that yeah, he's so like he's so prepared in every gig he goes to. Like he even says he brings toilet roll to gigs to prepare in case there's like queues. Which sounds really ridiculous, but he's so prepared that it makes him one of the best comedy promoters. I'll never be that prepared if I be honest, but there is something to
Mm.
learn from him. And he works with like 360 feedback from the audience, the comedians, and the owners. So he's well renowned for being so detailed oriented. Like, it brings extra amps, extra sound systems. Everything is prepared for. Is that yeah? Do you think that if you didn't have that, your gigs would be a bit more up and down? Like, how important do you think discipline is in terms of being a good comic?
I think it's very important, and I think, of course, first and foremost, you want to be funny, but I think if you're going to be successful, then you have to have some discipline. You have to, because it's easy to you're hanging out in bars basically, so you could easily get distracted and focus on the fun stuff, but uh you have to have discipline if you're gonna go to take the next step. Even to write your joke, you got to write more jokes and develop your jokes because it's fun. If you're funny naturally, sometimes that can make it even harder because you
Ah,
just
yeah.
like vibing with the audience, but then shit, what did I say? You know what I mean? Or I didn't pay attention enough, or I didn't keep working that joke, and you don't get the best out of it. So you need some discipline, definitely. It helped me a lot.
Who? What's an example you've seen of someone who's so good at it but hasn't? Don't mention any names or whatever. But and
Mm.
you what's a situation you've seen of someone that's so incredibly naturally funny, but you're like, oh my god, how come they're not like putting the more discipline in it, and that they've suffered, they've not progressed as a result.
Man, I've seen it a lot of just people just hit hard, when they come in and it's like everybody's like, "Whoa, who is this person?" And then they people either destroy relationships, and then people don't really want to work with them. Because I've seen that too, where somebody's good, and then people don't really want to work with you because you're not on time or flake out, don't come to the gig anymore. That happens a lot. I'm sure you've seen it. You
Oh
promoted
yeah, yeah,
shows.
yeah, yeah. So many times. But sometimes it happens with big name comics as well. Like they
You
mentioned,
still there, man?
yeah, just about the signal's still fishy. It is what it is. We'll get through it. But yeah, there's a few
Okay.
comics that I know on the circuit who are incredibly good, but they've not progressed past a certain point because they don't have the drive or the work ethic. Did you get that?
I can hear you, man.
Oh, you didn't hear that. So I said there's a few
No,
people
I
I know
didn't
on
hear
the
you.
circuit. Can you hear me?
No, no, no.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you now.
So there's a few people on the
Yeah.
circuit who I know that are incredibly talented, but they've not progressed to a certain point because they're so naturally good. They just enjoy doing it, but they're not bothered about going further up.
Mhm. Yeah, but I think it's also, I guess that's okay too. You know what I mean? I don't want to put my stuff on people, but when those people start complaining about it, then it's like, well, you know what I mean? If you don't
Ah,
want to apply yourself, then it's not going to work. But if you're cool with just getting that dopamine kick from the laugh and being silly on stage, that's one thing. But when I came into it, I was thinking, hey, this was so fun that I'd like to ultimately pay my bills with entertaining, and in order to get there, that's when you need. And now it's I don't have a day job. I just make people laugh in different ways.
and how long did it take for you to make this your day job? How much?
I started stand up in 2015, and I quit my job in 2022.
Oh, 9 years.
9 years, no? Oh, I've been doing it almost 9 years, but I quit at 22,
Bloody hell. And
27. Yeah.
what was the feeling like when you were like, I don't have to work for any more bastards anymore?
Ah, it was scary. Every because I do have a family, so every couple months I'd be panicking, like, okay, how the first year I paid myself way too little by design. I was just like, I wanted to have enough money in my company to make shit work. And then yeah, it's scary. But then, especially somebody with the military background is always used to stability and order and structure. That's like, you don't know. You're worried about the next gig or whatever. But then eventually I realized that it's gonna work out. So I stopped stressing that, and
Does
now I
having
feel really good. I'm like proud now. I'm proud of it.
does that give you the? I saw a podcast with. Do you know trigonometry? They're a big English podcast, and the guy who runs it is a bit. He used to be a comedian, but he left it, and now he's just a podcaster. But he says that the greatest feeling he has is running a very great successful podcast and being able to support his wife and kid doing what he loves. He says that that gives him such tremendous satisfaction. Like he feels that that's the biggest, best thing you can do as a man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. That's a I feel like and yeah, doing something you love and paying the bills with it, taking care of your family. Yeah. My wife works too. She got a good job, so that helps too. I feel like if it goes down, she could stand up for me. But as it come to that.
did did also meeting your so you did you start comedy in Sweden?
Yeah, I started in Sweden. I always wanted to do it, but I was kind of a, workaholic. I thought it was like something you do on the side type of thing. And so I never was gonna like take the time to get away from work to do stand up. And then I got here and I had a shitty job and they didn't give a fuck about my military experience. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll work in this grocery store. I was working in like an organic shop, rinsing vegetables and shit like that. So then I in order for like quality of life, I said, I'll try this thing I've always wanted to do. So I think thanks to being underemployed, I decided to try stand up, fell in love with it, and then always had that goal of I got to get my way to that. And then I finally got into my field, logistics, and then I had like figure it out once I was it was time to get out of working.
Hmm. Is did so when you did you do what was it like adjusting does to Sweden and does being from America help you with your humor? Because I found that
It,
with
uh
in UK it helps.
yeah, it's a twofold thing. Like coming here, being an immigrant, um, it's obviously gonna be harder, but being an American immigrant, they're so familiar with American culture that you're almost like the cream of the crop, socially. But then when you're trying to work professionally, you've been thinking that, oh shit, I'm the man because I'm the American immigrant, and then you apply for a job and they're like, shit, you're not Swedish, man. What are you thinking? So then it's like a mind trip right there where you're thinking, this my Americanism is gonna help me, but you're just an immigrant when it comes down to it. So then realizing that it's like, oof, but it's good having English as your language because a lot of workspaces they're speaking English there, or at least you can say it in English if it's a Swedish. You know what I mean? They'll understand it instead of if my language was Spanish or Arabic or something. So that helps.
How how does Swedish culture differ to America? One of the guesses that I have is that I get the feeling that Sweden is a bit more laid back. That's an assumption. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
They are. They're. I'm from Miami. I don't think it gets more laid back than that.
ah,
Uh, they are
they're so.
socially very reserved, and it feels rude as shit. I'm just like, damn, I said hi, motherfucker. I start getting mad. But yeah, they're not like socially. They don't like to. They have small social circles. It's hard to penetrate it. It's like they have friends for life and stuff like that. Like if you get a Swedish friend to be your friend, you got a friend for life. But it's hard to get them to be your friend because they got friends already. So
Ah,
yeah, it's tough.
oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought there'd be more, from what I see of them, I thought they'd be more laid back. Okay.
No, man, no, not at all, man. They don't really no. I mean, I like the country. I think it's the fact that the social safety net is big. You're taken care of, so they're kind of like, I'm good. I don't need anybody. I don't need people. I don't need struggle. What I need struggle for, you know what I mean? And we're over here, Americans, we're like trying to hustle and figure stuff out. The grind is like a grind mentality is not it's not the thing here, man. People look at you like, whoa, relax, man. What are you doing? It's like it's a big difference.
Is is Sweden more accepting of cultures than America? Because one thing I've noticed in Los Angeles, they, especially in the rougher areas, they treat race as a gang or something, don't they? Like with the Latinos, the blacks, the Asians, and the whites, they
It's
treat.
more segregated, yeah. I mean, but they don't. America's really unique with that, I think, because we actually like categorize race. Like you have to think about it because if you fill out an application or like it's some type of report or in school take a test, one of the first things you fill out is your race. You have to like pick, oh shit, I'm African American, non-Indian, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Non Hispanic, black. You have to put that down. So it's always at the forefront of our mind. Whereas here, they don't even have that. It's more of a national thing of nationality. So it's like a different outlook on that. Um, there's a whole right wing movement, I feel like, in Europe right now,
Oh,
anyway. So
yeah.
that's here as well. So we have that of people that are like nationalist, kind of borderline racist in their ideology, and everybody's kind of getting kind of how do I put it? It's almost like a fear of like, oh shit, wait, they're coming here now. It's like it's like
Uh,
that kind of vibe is happening all over Europe, and Sweden's not different than that. As far as accepting, I think that on the outside, um, they want to be seen as an accepting people,
ah.
but when it comes down to it, the bare bones of it all, it's like, wait, this is my thing. Don't mess with my thing.
Oh, okay. So they see you as competition for what they already have.
I wouldn't say me, but outsiders.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like if they're having to come to terms with, oh, what happens for real if people start coming here, and a lot of people are like, oh, whoa, whoa, close the door. But it's a little different like that.
But bloody hell. One thing I
But
will.
just like America, if America, you read the like the Statue of Liberty says, you mean you're tired of whatever, all of that stuff about we're the home of, we're the beacon of light for all of everyone to come here. On the outside, that's what we're presenting to the world, but in reality, let's build a fucking wall. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think every country has their piece of that of what we want to be, our what our nation is, and then what it is for real. And I
Three
think here they're
masks.
more, huh?
Three masks.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I think it's like that in Sweden too, man. They wouldn't say it if you were to say is Sweden a racist country. They'd say hell no, there's a racism. That's an American problem type of thing. But then if you ask an immigrant, like ask somebody who's actually can be affected by it, and you're like, oh shit, maybe we're more racist than we're willing to admit.
Ah, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so true. It's a bit like not to the same level, but in Afghanistan, the Taliban, they before they didn't teach any women education, but then when they got back into power again, they did the same things they did before, but just they hid it better. Do you hear what I said? Or did I say something wrong?
Yeah, I heard that you said once they got back into power, they hit it better. Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's what you said before. People will say they say things and then
yeah.
Yeah. You must deal with that
Yeah, definitely.
with. I find that in entertainment, there's definitely three masks. You must find that as well. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, even when you're hurt or something, some people try and be nice to you, and they get to put on a good story that they're nice, but they'll say subtle things, or they will
Mm.
pretend to be your friend or whatever, but they're not. But to everyone else, they'll say, "Oh, this person's this and that," but you see what the real person is because it's behind closed
Yeah.
doors.
Yo, why you wearing a jacket, man?
It's cold, brother. It's cold,
Okay,
brother.
okay.
It's in Tuscany. Is this the roasting?
No,
Is
no, I
this
wasn't roasted.
American and UK
Just,
banter? Okay, fair
uh,
enough.
it just dawned on me.
Listen, I'm from the UK. We own you. Remember, in the
I just want to
civil.
honor. I didn't know it'd be cold inside like that. Yeah, that's true. Huh?
Watch it. I've also damaged my foot as well. So I did try to do a
Oh,
backflip.
really?
I'm doing a physical theatre course, and I did an exercise, and I did a backflip. I fell funny on my ankle, and now
Uh,
I'm struggling to walk a little bit. And in fact, I'm getting some
man,
Chinese medicine with balm, and she did something with the container. She rubbed it against my foot. God, it hurt like hell. It's feeling better. The foot's less blue.
mm,
Hopefully, by Monday, become a normal person again. Uh,
mm. Good luck, man.
I don't know. Do you feel like that with injuries? Sometimes, like mentally, you feel a bit fucked up from it, and then like
Yeah, man, I'm getting older too, man. I had my knee like for no reason just locked up on me, and I was like limping around for 2 days, and I was like, I would like to have some type of reason. Like, was it basketball? Was it like did I step off the curb wrong? No, I was sitting. That was my sin was sitting. Like, why is this? So I know what you mean. That fucks with you when you start realizing shit. I guess I'm getting old.
yeah, that's true. I don't. It's yeah. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because you just feel like you. Well, the thing that I felt was that you can't do normal. You're not doing normal things that you normally do by yourself. And this is only the second injury I've had, so it's not. I know a lot of people have had a lot of injuries, but luckily for me, or maybe unfortunately, I've only had two injuries like that. Where,
Mm,
but it is what it is. So
yeah.
with Sweden, is it? How does their humor differ? And like, what's the food like? Is it better than America? Less fatty, less chemicals? I mean, in America, I think some of you are going
Yeah.
to become aliens with the amount of stuff they put in the food.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the I mean our food culture here, like, it's good fine dining, and it's a broad amount of, like, you can have whatever you want. There's a lot of, like, there's a restaurant for everything. It feels like in Stockholm, it's like restaurants everywhere. So you can get whatever you want to eat. But Swedish food is kind of it's not that like flavorful, I think. It's good, but they're like they come from like Vikings and shit. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get fucking seasonings.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
so I don't know. I like the standard food, and that's another thing. They are the same food at every event. So it's like Easter, you're gonna eat the at Easter, what you're gonna eat at Christmas, and what you're gonna eat at Midsummer. Like, it's like kind of standard with a couple, caveats. But you're gonna get the meatballs, you're gonna get the little sausages, you're gonna get the pickled herring. It's like at everything. I happen to like that stuff, so it's not so bad.
Oh, that sounds
But
good.
like American food, obviously, I miss that stuff, man. It's fucking, I miss good ass Southern cooking. I miss that.
Popeyes.
Ah,
Or, or,
I-
or, or Burger King.
Burger King's here, and
Oh,
now they have KFC here. But that's not. I don't know. I miss like the fucking mom and pops down home restaurant, soul food restaurant. That's just, it looks dirty and the food's fantastic. I miss that type of stuff, man.
to be
Where you
honest,
walk in and they make some fucking like a hot plate of fucking greens and neck bones and shit like that.
There should be fusion food, shouldn't there? Asian food, like chicken fried rice with chicken wings and hot
Mm.
sauce and all of that. I'd love to see more fusion with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, man. I like to eat. I like to eat, so I'm always down.
Now, this is a question that I didn't actually put in there, but it's a thought that's come up to me.
Okay.
Do you think reveals when you interact with people? What do you think reveals someone's true who someone is, like in terms of the way they interact with you? How do you know if someone is a true friend or not?
Oh, I think how they handle you when you before they know where you're at on the hierarchy. Like if you don't know that somebody has some type of power and you still treat them well, or if you do know that they don't have, you know what I mean? If you treat people the same, I try to treat people the same myself. I try. I don't know. Some people might think I'm not. I don't know, but I do try. No matter who you are, try to show you some respect. And I feel like if people are doing that, then that tells you a lot about them, and they're a good person. I could trust them. But if they're like asshole to you at first, and then they realize, oh shit, you can do something for me, and let me treat you better, then I'm like skeptical about you.
Ah, okay, yeah. Do you hide those things from people? I think it's better to hide those things from people.
Kind of as a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. But I don't even play the games, man. I don't know. I just try to be me and just be like cool, you know. I bring my laid back Miami mentality here, and I think it's probably refreshing for the Swedish mentality.
It is a lot of effort though to do all this stuff. So yeah, you're right in just being chill and getting on with things. Ooh, ooh. Oh no, not again. What happened? Did anything stop again? Oh, it did. You here now? Oh, where are we at, Jonathan? Okay, we're here now. We're moving. We're in here.
Uh, yeah. Okay, you can ask it again. I didn't hear. I think, but you were. I didn't get to say anything about Swedish humor. You did ask me about the sense of humor. I didn't
Yeah.
get to answer that. I would like to answer that if you won't, if you don't mind, unless you want to move past it.
No, definitely. Tell me about Swedish humor. How is it different to American humor? And how did you adjust?
I am I am proud of Swedish comedy, man. They are good, man. I will put this comedy scene up against any scene in the world, man. Honestly, the mid level is better than the mid level in places I've been. I was shocked
Oh,
that because I say that when Swedes are interested in something, they fucking nail it. You know what I mean? Like if you go to if they get like a sushi restaurant, maybe a banging ass sushi restaurant, or like into making music, it's great music here, and they took that approach to comedy. And when people, it's like better writing. It's more like they just figure it out. I don't know what to. I really when I went to the States, I was just like not impressed at the when I went to Austin. There's a booming scene there right now. So I went out there and then I was just looking around like, damn, they kind of suck. Like the comedy was like the
oh,
same. It was like tired, yeah, like tired premises and like I hear the same joke by the different comics and then none of them are good. I was just like, what is going on, man? I was surprised, man. I thought we're supposed to be the big. I was like disappointed. Not I was disappointed because I was thinking I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna be like see these fucking killers now and they have the opportunity. They can do 7 gigs a night if they want to, but here you're getting one or two a night, and that's Stockholm. You know what I mean? But then in the south of Sweden, they're starting to get more clubs, but some of the funniest people are from the south of Sweden that have fewer chances to get on stage than you do up here in central Sweden, and they're fucking killers too. And I'll bring them over there if you translate their jokes and bring them to America. They'll be kicking ass. I was disappointed in the U.S. and proud of Sweden. Like we're good over here, man.
which gigs did you go to in Austin? May I ask?
I went to all the big clubs. I went everywhere but the mothership. I
Oh,
didn't get in the mothership. Yeah, but I did all of. I performed at almost every stage. Once I started performing, they were
oh,
like, "Oh yeah,
fuck.
come here, come here." And I was hopping on stage. I did the what's it called? That secret show.
I didn't go.
I got on that. I did. I'm forgetting the names of the places now, man. There's a really cool club over there too. I wish I remembered the name of it, man. Fuck, I can't remember it right now. But all of the stages, the pro stages, I did them all except for the mothership. I didn't get on there.
It's
But it was I was kind of it was some one there was one show I was just like shocked at how bad and poorly run the show was.
oh.
And it was gonna yeah, I was shocked. And but it was their first show in their defense. And I was there and I was just like there with the hopped in some open mics and then we were there and he was gonna headline the show. And every like I saw, and this is America, so the crowd didn't like it. People started walking out and asking for their money back because that's how they do in the States. They're like, "Well, fuck you, this is trash," and leaving. And I was talking to the guy. I was like, "Dude, I know you don't know me. Put me on stage, man. They need a good comedian right now." He ain't listen to me. And then the headliner eventually was like, "Fuck it, I'm going on right now." And I got bumped from that show because it was so bad, and I couldn't believe that this was a show people were paying money for
That's
in
the thing.
fucking Austin, man.
Yeah, I think there's a bit.
And one of the guys was a door guy from the mothership, so everybody's talking about that.
Okay, cool. Don't say who it is though.
Should I continue?
No. Oh, okay. But the
No, no, I'm not gonna say a name. I don't even remember his name, but they were saying like they were talking about like, oh, he's once he gets on stage, and he got on stage talking some fucking. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was like self. I don't know. It was like when some. It was like doing Chappelle. You know what I mean?
oh
Standing on
yes.
stage, and but it was like all of this like, and then but it wasn't going anywhere. And it's like, you're not there, bro. Like, tell a fucking joke. I don't know. It was like, where are the jokes? I felt like that a lot. Where are the jokes? It was personality first and foremost, which I've heard from UK comics told me that America's personality first before substance. And I
Mm.
got to see it. And I was disappointed, man, because I thought for sure I was going to come back like, wow, I need to get my shit together. But I came back like, damn, I'm good.
I d- yeah, I think New York's still probably the capital of stand up. I think definitely if
Yeah.
you go to a few of the good clubs there, you would
Yeah.
definitely see it. Like Nico White, he's one of the best comedians I've seen. Like when he's four,
Mm,
he started at 14. But yeah, New York, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't face the
yeah.
same problem.
No, when I went, that's the scene that I first like started going regularly. When I got out of the military, I moved to the Jersey area.
Okay.
So this club I would go to the cellar just as a fan and just see these killers coming out, and I was like, damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I get that, and they always say New York. If you want to hear jokes, you go to New York. They're gonna fucking you're gonna bring the jokes, but with hearing about everybody's heard about this buzz in Austin. That's why I went there. I wanted to see that. And yeah, man, it made me appreciate the Swedish scene a lot because they're good here, man.
You know what? You mentioned something that's an interesting thing, and I'm maybe going to do a bit more research on. I think there's a comedian that wrote a good article on like the good delusion of being a comedian. But yeah, I mean, comedy's not as policed, or when you're being an actor, you go to drama school and you go through all these qualifications. You have to pass an exam, or if you're a musician, you have to learn an instrument. You have to do different things. Comedy's not like that. It's very yeah, it's a bit of a free for all. There's not these qualifications. You get through clubs, but
Mm,
sometimes you can get just being good mates with them. But it
yeah.
is, and it's very difficult. Obviously, whenever you watch yourself, very difficult to self-assess yourself accurately. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I'm going to do when I get back into London is, I think people that don't like you are very good at picking out your weaknesses. And so I found a few of my weaknesses in comedy. And so one of the things I want to do when I get back to London is get someone who I know is very good at that side of things and get them to give me feedback on it. Because they know
Mm,
what they're
yeah.
doing. That's how you get better at it. If you're just on your own, you're going to delude yourself. Or if you just work with people
Yeah.
maybe you'll get into an echo chamber. But someone who's at the top of their game, at the area that you're weak on, can give you good advice on that. So that is one of the things that I want to work on.
Also, like to, I mean, personally, I like to see what the personally, I like to see what the audience like get the response I want from the audience. I've been at it for a while now, so I'm just like, I know if I'm not getting what I want, if my joke's not hitting like I want it to, and then video, I can't hear you now, frozen.
Video. One, two,
I hear you now, but I don't see you moving. But yeah, I guess I'm good to hear you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move a second, Jonathan.
I heard you counting.
I can't see you moving as the video. I can't see your screen froze on your side. I don't know. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, you can't see me? Oh yeah, you're frozen on my side.
Shit. Oh, now it's
Yeah, now you're moving.
okay. Okay, so let's start. The point was you was talking about. I was talking about getting a mentor, and you were saying about getting feedback from the audience.
Yeah, I try to use the audience to, but I'm like really into, some comedians don't, they want to get a point across or something like that. I just want to make people laugh, make a good time, a vibe, and then I just keep writing, like making the jokes better. So I just listen to how they're going and see how I feel on stage more than but I do love to get feedback from my comedian friends that I respect. And to me it's a good sign if somebody gives you unsolicited advice on your comedy. To me that's a good sign. If they come up and they got a tag for me, then I know first they were listening, and second they think that has potential. So I'm like honored, like, oh yeah, give me that. And my first full thing that I put up on YouTube, the last punchline, or like the final closer to the whole show, a comedian that I respect, actually like a mentor to me, heard something I said and was like, "Yo, you got a possible callback there," and I was blown, like so happy, and I put it as my like final closing joke. That like that's when to me that's when I feel like confirmed as like, yeah, you're good when you get that.
When from someone you respect, yeah. But what if it's from someone you
Yeah,
don't?
for somebody, yeah. If it's bad and for somebody I don't, then I'll just be like, thanks, man. I'll think about that. Thank you. Like, that happens. That happens, man. And I just try to be cool to especially the young ones coming up. I like, because I as a club runner, I still like to see who's coming up and all of that stuff. So I go to the open mics and sometimes people will give me their things, and if I don't like it, I just won't use it. But I'm not gonna be a dick to them. Just be like, oh, thanks, man.
And who are like the big comedians that are storming both the English speaking and Swedish speaking scene? And how do you adjust a joke for Swedish and English?
I don't perform in Swedish.
Oh, you've not done it. You've not done Swedish. Okay.
I did it one time. They're so good at English here that you don't have to do it in Swedish. I did it one time because there was a show where it was called Swedes Performing in English, and I did that show and I performed in Swedish just to flip it. And I felt neutered. I was like, because I do a lot of like talking to the audience and stuff like that, and I tried to talk to somebody in Swedish, and I was like, this ain't gonna work, man. Let me just do the jokes that I translated, because I can't think fast enough. It was like trying to freestyle rap at another. You know what I mean? It was like, nah. So but here, there's two things. Like they don't dub stuff here. They do subtitles, so they hear a lot of English for real. So they're like really good at English. They start learning. My son is in third grade, and like his friends, they're all like they know some English, all of them. My son, of course, is fluent, but another thing here we didn't get to talk about is the audiences here are so not ideal for stand-up comedy. It's
Ah.
not the dream audience, that it makes the comedians better.
Ah.
because they want you to come with something new. Like they don't, if you got something they heard before, you know what I mean? So they want you to bring it, and they will sit there and stare at you if you don't bring it. And it's bombing in front of a Swedish audience sucks because they won't even give you a boo or a fucking shut up, nothing. You get nothing. You're just gonna have a bunch of white people staring at you, and that shit sucks. so, so you got to figure it out. I think it makes the people bring it and have the comedians have to. It makes the comedians better. I was talking to we were on a road trip, me and some comics, and we were like, they made us. I was kind of complaining about Austin, and they were like, it's because of our shitty audiences. It's like, thank you, audiences making us bring it.
Yeah. Do you believe in the working smarter rather than harder? You got to work very hard, but what's the element of it? You got to use your brain and think, what I'm doing here isn't working.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I like to think ahead, and to me, that's the smarter part is having an actual goal, saying it out loud, write it down, whatever, and then working towards it. And that's when the work hard part comes. But the smart part is having that vision, knowing where I'm trying to get to, and then figure out a way to get there. Because if you know the goal, then it's going to be easier to achieve it. So I try to do that. Like this year, I have an actual goal that I'm working towards. I know what I'm trying to do. So then just get there. And then I start the grind. The grind, I'm in the grind right now, trying to build up these jokes to get to what I'm trying to do.
And for anyone that's listening in right now, what is the most recent thing you've learned about comedians as people and about performing stand-up comedy recently that isn't obvious?
Damn. It's a deep-ass question. Something that isn't, I mean, that we're all like sensitive. We're sensitive, but we can dish it too. Like we're thick-skinned, but we're still sensitive. You know what I mean? I guess that's it's a weird way to put it, but it's true. We're thick-skinned, but we're sensitive. And at the end, it's like, just like me. Most of us. Some people don't care, but I don't think the good comedians don't care what the audience or what they get back from the audience. Even if you want them to groan, you want them to fucking groan when you know what I mean? You want them to get uneasy. And if you're not getting that, that shit hurts, man. I talk about it on stage of like I call it every 7 showers. Every 7 showers, you have that fucking why did I do that? In the 7th shower, just like fuck, man. Why did I say that shit that day to that person? And then like a lot of times a comedy set will be in that shower. Like shit, man. I should have just said this. I should have done this, but nope, it didn't work. Because we're all a little sensitive, even though we try to be tough and the smartest guy in the room, the toughest guy in the room while I'm on stage with this microphone. But in the end, we're pretty sensitive, man. That's something we should keep in mind when we're handling each other is that, yeah, that other person is sensitive too.
And for anyone that wants to find out about you, you've got 4 podcasts.
Yeah, man.
Comedy club.
Most of them are half Swedish, so you got to know Swedish. I speak English on everything I do, but my co-host speaks Swedish in most of my podcasts. I have one that's about American football, and that's all English.
Okay, so if you guys want to find out about him, if they want to find out about you, where do they find out about you? What's the best place? Do they go to your website or?
Yeah, you could I'm on YouTube. If you want to hear some Swedish music, I react to Swedish music. If you want to check out Swedish music, I'm on YouTube, Jonathan Rollins. You can like Google me, and if you come to Sweden, I have a club called the Laugh House, and we're like, I'm not biased at all, but when I say that it's the best comedy club in Sweden, so go to the laughhouse.se to check out what we have going on, and we bring people from all over the world to perform in Stockholm and show off our good comics as well.
All right, so you know where to go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys
too.
Soon.